And we'll take a good seat. And you are most welcome to meditate with your eyes open or closed, but this morning for the check-in, we'll close eyes and turn the gaze inward. And just notice first, kind of holistically, how it feels to be you today. And then taking 3 full satisfying breaths in through the nose, a pause at the top, and an exhale through the mouth. 2 more. One more. And then noticing how it feels physically to be you today. So allowing your mind's eye to just notice physical sensations in your body. And then noticing how you're feeling emotionally today. If the answer is ever, I'm not sure, that's totally fine. But just noticing if there's a prominent emotion, not trying to change anything, just a noticing. And then finally taking a peek at the state of your mind. Does it feel vast and open or closed down or curious or something else? Taking another of those full satisfying breaths and noticing the movement of breath in the body. And drawing your attention to your sense of sight, whether your eyes are open or closed, noticing sensation here, depth, periphery, and so forth. Turning towards your sense of smell and noticing if there's any scent in your room. And taking a moment to notice the sensation of breath at your nostrils. So taking a breath here and noticing sensation. And then moving to your sense of taste and noticing the places that are wet or dry. Any leftover taste you can connect with. Finding the furthest away sound you can connect with. It could be outside the window. See what you can find. Noticing if it's constant or changing. that's prominent in one ear or the other. And then moving to a sound that's very close, perhaps even within. And just for a moment, ping pong between the two sounds, the furthest away and the closest, and notice the difference. And then feeling the blanket of air on your skin, the places where there's hair or clothing, and where there's bare skin and air mingling. Notice the difference in the sensations. And then drawing in another full, satisfying breath. And again, noticing the movement and sensation of breath at the nostrils. And you'll place your attention on the exhale, specifically this place of letting go, the expiration. Place your mind there for a minute. The breath comes and goes naturally, and your attention is focused on the exhale. When you notice your mind has wandered, you celebrate the noticing and come back to this very specific place in the breath cycle, the exhale. Stay right here. And then for a moment, while you hold your attention on the exhale, also notice your field of awareness, that furthest away sound, the air on your skin, and so forth. So your attention is on the sensation of breath. But much like if you're in the center of a snow globe, there is enough awareness of your surroundings, sensations, so that you wouldn't be startled if there is a loud noise. Stay right here for a minute. And then just notice if there's any tension in the body that can soften, maybe in the belly, the shoulders. When you're ready, blinking open eyes if they're closed. Noticing your space. So this is the last week in a 4-week series of how to meditate. And I'll just review what we went over in case this is your first time. We're using the book How to Meditate by Pema Chodron. And she is an American Buddhist nun, but I find her highly relatable and awesome. And she talks about the 5 qualities that we're cultivating in a practice. And so she says that the first quality that we are cultivating is what she calls steadfastness. And I think I talked about this in the first or the second week. So the steadfastness is a loyalty to ourselves. So when we sit and the thoughts arise or the sensations arise, that we stay grounded and welcoming because we remember why we're meditating in the first place. So whether it's because we're looking for a little calm or we want to fully awaken or whatever it might be, that this loyalty to ourselves says we're going to sit and stay. The second quality is clear seeing. And Pema says this is very similar to steadfastness. So clear seeing, when we go through like the three lenses, for example, seeing what our body is feeling like today, seeing what emotions are present today. And then in the practice itself, if our mind is very wild and it's moving all over, just seeing that that's the experience today. And in clear seeing, it's not necessary that we're trying to change anything. Over time with our meditation practice, things will change. We will create more space. We will have more groundedness, but then there'll be times where we don't, where we have what we would call, quote unquote, a bad meditation experience, right? But it's in this, then you go back to that first quality, the steadfastness. I'm going to stay with it. I'm going to stay right here. And as we cultivate that on our cushion, which of course can be a chair, we also cultivate that in our lives. So the third quality that Pema talks about is the cultivation of courage. And I just got done teaching a class. I teach a Buddhism class on Thursday mornings, and we were talking about that. It takes great courage to sit and to notice what's going on in our bodies, what's going on in our minds, not to mention what's going on around us in our world, what's happening in our families, what's happening with our friends, all of these things. It takes courage to sit with them and to notice rather than push them away or try to drown them out or try to numb out to our experience as humans. It takes courage to be a human. So these are the 3 qualities that we've talked about over the past couple of weeks. So now we're moving on to the 4th and the 5th quality. The 4th quality that Pema talks about is the ability to awaken to our lives just as it is. So rather than pushing away our experience, she says, this is a place of meeting our edge, of accepting the present moment and the unknown. It's a very powerful place for the person who wishes to awaken and open their heart mind. So most of us run around sort of wanting to push away the experiences that aren't good and wanting to bring in the experiences that are good, but we know, we know that it's all valid. And so we meet our edge. And she says, meeting this present moment is the generative fire of our meditation. I'll repeat that. Meeting our edge is the generative fire of our meditation. And it's what propels us towards transformation. So in other words, the present moment is the fuel for your personal journey. Meditation helps you to meet your edge, and it's where you actually come up against it and you start to lose it. So we meet our edge and then we're like, no, I can't go there. And then we come back and we try it again. And then we come back and we try it again. And this is why the quality of courage is so important. But she says that when you meet the unknown of the moment, that it allows you to live your life and to enter your relationships and commitments ever more fully. This is living wholeheartedly. And she goes on to say that meditation is revolutionary because it's not a final resting place. You can be much, much more settled. So I find this so hopeful, right? We meditate and maybe we're a beginner. And we meet our edge, and then maybe we, you know, become a regular, consistent meditator. And what she's saying is there's always more. There's always more to explore. So finally, the fifth quality is what she calls no big deal. So in meditation, right, we sometimes get so serious, like if, you know, our faces get serious, and then we say things to ourselves like, oh, my attention isn't very good today, or something like that. And what she says is that one of the things that'll happen with our practice is to just become flexible to the present moment, right? It's like you get in your car and you're in a hurry, and of course you get the person who's really slow of driving in front of you. And it's no big deal. It feels like a big deal, but she's saying that no big deal helps us to be able to be more patient and meaningful in our life. She says, things happen and they can transform your life, but at the same time, don't make too big of a deal of them, because that leads to arrogance and pride or a sense of specialness. On the other hand, making too big a deal about your difficulties takes you in the other direction. It takes you into poverty, self-denigration, and a low opinion of yourself. So meditation helps us cultivate this feeling of no big deal. It's a statement of humor and flexibility. One of my teachers used to say, it's like this now. It's just like this now. And then you can touch it with a lighter touch. So I just wanted to take a moment here, first of all, to thank you for watching or listening to How to Meditate. And I wanted to invite you to community meditation. It occurred to me that some folks might not really know what it is or why it's profound. So community meditation is our online group meditation at Mind Oasis, and we offer it about 4 times a day, except on the weekends. And it's with all different guides. We have nearly 30 guides. They've all been trained by me. And everyone is a little different in their personality and what they deliver, but the general format of community meditation is the same, that you show up, there are other meditators there, that we start with a little movement, and just to get in our bodies, and then we go through the 3 lenses of kind of our experience as a human, and we go through the 5 senses, or we use a body scan to help settle our mind. And then we go into what's called shamatha meditation, which is translated as calm abiding. Oftentimes we use sensation of breath as our anchor, not always, but that's one of our main options that we can use. And then we go through a handful of minutes of silence, and but along with guidance. So there's some stillness and silence, but there's also support from our guides, and then some sort of inspiration. The power of community meditation is a couple of things. One is you can RSVP to the event, and you get a reminder, and you get the link. And so there's power in these simple reminders in actually showing up. And for most of us, a consistent meditation practice is where we struggle the most. So if that's one of your areas, it's just literally getting to your cushion. Community meditation is a very formidable way to start to show up consistently. Then the next thing is that our guides are friendly and wonderful. So you will start to look forward to community meditation because it feels good. Third, we have an awesome community. We have an awesome community that is worldwide. You might even find that someone lives near you, and you might meet up in real life. And then lastly, because community meditation is fun and it feels good and it gives you an accountability factor, it might inspire you to sit more frequently than you have in the past. In other words, you feel good on Tuesday, you start and you remember that on Wednesday, and you decide to sit on Wednesday as well. And all of a sudden you're on a streak. And all of a sudden you're like, well, hell, I've, sat for 5 days in a row. I might as well go for number 6. So if consistency and fun is important to you, this is a place where community meditation is a space that will really help catapult your practice. And our guides are well trained, and it can make a huge difference in your life. So you go in the Mighty Network to programs, and you will see that Community Meditation has a 1-week free trial, and you can sign up there. There's tiered pricing. So if you are on a restricted budget, there's tiered pricing. If none of the prices work, you can reach out to me for a scholarship, KELLY@mindoasis.org, KELLY@mindoasis.org, and ask for the scholarship application. I hope to see you on Community Meditation, and thank you again for joining me on this journey.